Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back from the intermission, that exciting play of the week that we had there. But now we're moving on to our last two series of minor league esports this season on stream, our regular season. This is it. This is our last two series, and we have a banger of a doubleheader for you here tonight. We've got the Shadow and the Sharks kicking off with the Academy League. Both of these teams looking to make playoffs in the last possible second here at the end of the night. I am Lars Newt. I'm going to be your color commentator for the night, and joining me in the casting booth for the first time with me is Dud the Bomb, your play-by-play. Dud the Bomb, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm excited for these two matchups between the Sharks and the Shadow. Both teams in both series have chances to make playoffs, so there's a lot of stuff riding on the line, and I'm excited to see how this one's going to play out.
Yeah, we've got the Sharks coming in at 31 and 34. They're number one in the Tropic Division. If they can manage to scrape 2 wins out of this series, then they are going to be a lock for the playoffs. On the other side, we've got the number 2 in the Tropic Division, the Shadow, coming at 30 and 35. They need a 4-1 to make playoffs. Anything less, and they are done. There is no wild card opportunity. So this is do or die for both of these teams because they can't both make it. It just doesn't work that way. On the side of the Shadow, we're bringing in It's Reckless and Jamonix, and on the side of the Sharks, we've got Kuignite and Seeing. I'm excited for this matchup. Dud, what are you seeing in these player stats that's got you excited?
I mean, both these teams have potential, and that's what I always like to see, especially in the Academy League. And with playoffs running high on the line, I'm excited to see some solo plays coming out from either of these two squads, because that shows me that, one, you are about ready to get into the Champion League, and two, if you can help send your team to a playoff spot, it makes you feel really mentally good on the inside. And potentially, you won't even have to try out for the draft league next year. You could get retained.
Depending on how well it goes here, but like we said, do or die. Looking for It's Reckless. Only played 10 games so far this season with the Shadow, but averaging 2.9 goals per game. That's insane. Less on the save side. So look for It's Reckless up forward, attacking that net, and then just much more even gameplay out of the rest of these players in the Academy League. But as we get kicked off here in game number 1, we're excited for a great doubleheader between the Shadow and the Sharks, starting here in the Academy League.
Gonna have Knight and Jamonix off the kickoff. It's gonna go on towards Seeing. He's gonna bring that back into the side of the Shadow. He's gonna take his time with it, pop it up, and it gets over the defender, and Seeing's gonna put up the Sharks, so a quick 1-goal lead here in game 1.
8 seconds into this matchup, and the Sharks already getting off to a good start here. We saw their Master League team, I believe it was last night, get the reverse sweep on the Shadow, and Seeing channeling a little bit of that energy, taking that momentum from yesterday and rolling right with it with that early goal. Shadow need to get some momentum of their own.
But it looks like the Sharks are still keeping up the pressure. Kuignite almost gets that shot on target, but it's going to go just high off the crossbar, and now it's going to be Jamoda. My apologies. He's going to take that, but it's going to get quickly pinched out. Gets past Reckless. Going to be Jamona retreating back for that. He's going to grab it, shoot it past midfield. Going to look for second touch. No one on the ball yet. It's going to hit off the crossbar again. Going to bounce down. Reckless trying to get some sort of angle on it. He's going to go back above onto the backboard. Now Knight is going to take his time with it, but Jamona, good fast speed to keep the ball inside the Sharks zone. Now Reckless going to try to put that on net, but Knight's going to clear that back away again. Hit a minute into this game. The game is slowing down a little bit.
Getting a little bit of back and forth here. I like to see a couple of quick, aggressive opportunities. They're Seeing with their second of the match. That's a great top corner pick, finding that opening past both these Shadow defenders and punishing as soon as they get that opportunity.
And it is going to be Seeing again on that shot. He was given a bunch of times, able to get a really, really fast shot as well onto that. And it's going to bring out the Sharks to a 2-goal lead as we have elapsed 1 minute. It's going to be Jamona now. Going to attempt to bring the Shadow back in this game, but Seeing good pressure on the defensive side is going to get it around him. And now Knight's going to chase that into the corner and get it past one. Going to look for a second touch. He gets it, but it's going to be just wide. And Seeing will look to take control and keep the ball in the zone. Now off the ceiling he goes, gets the flip over towards Knight. He can't make contact, and it's going to be Reckless looking for the clear. He's going to take his time with it back into the Shark zone, but good pressure there. Going to keep him, and seeing that's a booming clear downfield just wide. He's going to look for a second touch. He's going to get it, and the Sharks will come out to a 3-0 lead.
Seeing with their third, getting the hat trick early in game number 1 here, making a statement going forward. Jamona, I really like what they were doing. They're trying to get up to that ball early, take away that opportunity before it bounces off the back wall and play it to the side. They just couldn't quite find the mechanical skill to get there, and it leads to this 3-goal lead for the Sharks. Like I said, right after that first one, Shadow need to find a way to kill some of the Sharks' momentum and turn it right back around on top of them.
Indeed, but it's going to be Seeing once again. Good pressure by the Shadow to prevent Seeing from being able to control that, and the ball is in the Shark zone for now. Seeing going to look to clear it out, but it falls right to Jamona. Oh, Jamona gets bumped by his teammate. It's going to be Knight off the back wall. It's going to be Reckless trying to get it away from Seeing. It does do so for now. Going to leave it towards Jamona back into the Shark zone. Bounce midfield, Seeing is there to keep the ball away from the Shadow. Ball's dangerously popped up, but Reckless will take control now. Knight with a shot. It's going to go crossbar down. That's going to be a 4-goal lead now for the Sharks.
I really like what I see out of the Sharks here, bringing lots of pressure and aggression upfield. Shadow trying to play a little bit of a slower control game, and I do like the fact that they're trying to retain control of the ball and keep control within their car, but unfortunately this Sharks aggressive upfield play is very punishing, as Kuik Knight able to scoop that one off the top of the attempted clear and put that one bar down to extend this lead even further. But we still have half the game left. Let's see if the Shadow can get a little bit of momentum going into game number 2.
That was a shot right there from Reckless that barely got saved there by Kuik Knight. Now it's going to be Reckless off that attempted clear, going to bring that towards midfield. Knight once again up there to bring it into the corner. Now Knight is going to send that slowly towards the net. Beats out Jamona to the ball. A nice 50-50. Going to be bounced off the backboard, and Jamona going to look for the clear. It's a second touch off the side wall, and now Reckless looking for a shot, but Knight is there for the easy save. He's going to grab the boost in the corner. Going to send it off towards Seeing midfield. Good challenge there by Reckless. Going to keep this into the Sharks side of the zone. Now back on the corner, we got Knight. He's going to get it past one. Good air dribble there to bring it mid, but Reckless is waiting for him. Now he's going to look to try to get it past Seeing. Good defensive play there by Seeing, going to prevent him from getting that shot on target. And now Seeing, able to get it past one. Can't get it past Reckless. And we're hitting 125 left in this match. If the Shadow need to do something, they got to do it right now.
You mentioned earlier you like to see that mechanical play and those solo plays, and Seeing here doing a great job showing up with a lot of that, showing lots of mechanical prowess on the field between the accuracy on net with those shots, as that's another one from Seeing high on the wall to that half flip back in the defensive end. You just see them positioning well and really being dominant up and down the field, and it's just a statement here. 4 goals in less than 4 minutes for one player.
And these have all been solo plays. If you look at the scoreboard, there are 5 goals from the Sharks, but no assists. So it's just been Seeing and Knight making these great solo plays, and Shadow just being caught off guard by them. Now the Shadow back here on the defensive side, going to have to attempt to clear the ball out, but it's a good challenge by Seeing. He's going to go mid over towards Kuik Knight. He's going to put that on target, but it's a slow drop, and Jamona's going to easily play that off to the side. Now Seeing isn't able to make contact. He's going to look for a back pass over to Knight, keep the possession on their side, but Reckless will intercept that clear and bring that into the Sharks' side of the zone. Reckless just get demoed by Knight and allows for some breathing room for the Sharks to get this cleared. They do so. Knight with a good challenge. Reckless is behind him, however, and is able to get the ball cleared. Reckless can't get the touch on that midfield. Seeing going to look to take control of it. Looking for the demo, but isn't quite able to get it. Now it's going to be Reckless from his own corner. Knight, once again, these Sharks are playing fast. Knight is able to keep the ball in the zone. Reckless finally able to get it out towards target, but it's going to be Seeing again. Able to play fast, get the save there. It's going to get boomed out towards the Shadow's net. Saved there by Reckless, but it's all for naught, as it's going to be a 5-0 here for the Sharks here in Game 1.
That's a dominating victory for the Sharks here in Game 1. Just like you said, 5-0. I would have really liked to see the Shadow find a little bit of offensive pressure at the end of that game to at least buy themselves some momentum going forward, try to find some hope, really, as they move forward in this series. But unfortunately, there's nothing doing. You did see them pick up the pace a little bit more aggression going through the second half of that game. You could see the Sharks start to slow down in goals And a big part of that is we saw a lot more pressure out of the Shadow. They're doing a much better job of challenging the Sharks in the midfield and taking away some of those shooting opportunities. And it was only when they gave the Sharks space that the Sharks started to score again and pick up those last 2 goals. So the Shadow can continue to make pressure upfield and get in the face of the Sharks. It's going to take away some of those opportunities. The other thing we see the Shadow doing is they're looking for a lot of passes through the center of the field. It's really good to see that kind of pass play, those infield passes not just rolling through the back corner, which is kind of a lower level play style. Those infield passes, they're very effective when they connect. They're just struggling a little bit to find that accuracy to find each other in the midfield. So if they could find a way to maybe get a couple bumps and then get a couple demos, disrupt the Sharks, get in their face, and catch them in transition, it could be very dangerous for the Sharks.
Definitely. But they gotta not let the Sharks have so much room, as you said before, because seeing I think all of his shots were reached because he had like miles, it seems like, of just room to work with the ball. Is able to kind of just take his time with the shots, put it wherever he felt like it. So as if the Shadow can do a combination of passing plays as well as just not giving the Sharks as much time, play as fast as the Sharks have been playing, and you'll find the same success as the Sharks as well as we head here into Game 2.
You're absolutely right. So hopefully they can find some of that Sharks play style magic for themselves as we move forward through game number 2. And I want to see them get some early pressure, get some good, quick shots on net at the start of this game to hopefully turn around that momentum from game number 1.
And they are starting in the Sharks side of the field for the start of this, seeing finally able to get that cleared, and they're getting a bunch of room, but Reckless is there for a good save. Looking for a second touch off the side, is not going to find it. Knight's going to turn this, bring that into the Shadow zone. Jamona going to look to play a little slow. Gets a nice touch to prevent Knight from hitting that ball, and combined with a good demo from Reckless, is going to keep that ball from going in for now. But Knight has a chance here. It's going to get saved off by Jamona. That's going to be seeing. He's going to try to play that off the back wall. Jamona gets a touch on it. Going to leave it towards Reckless. Going to try to get this cleared out. But Knight, good play to play that patiently, and is able to get on top of the ball and bring that into the Shadow zone. Gets it past 1, but not quite mid enough for Seeing, and he's just going to wait to keep the ball in the zone. Now it's going to be hit off the back wall. Good touch by Jamona, but Seeing's also able to make a little bit of contact. Now Seeing again. Looking to try to set that up for Knight, and it's going to dribble in. I think that bounced off a defender, if I am not mistaken.
You're absolutely correct. I'm Reckless trying to get in front of that one. It ends up just doinking it over the top of Jamona, trying to get that clear. It's up in the corner, and we see the Sharks take the lead again here in game number 2, but it's been a lot slower. The Shadow have done a good job of keeping that ball clear of shooting opportunities for the most part. They just need to do a better job of clearing the zone, getting upfield, and not allowing the Sharks to spend so much time on the attack. Speaking of which, this one's down on the net, and it's a diving save from Reckless to keep that one away.
And Seeing with shot opportunity as well is going to go just high, and the Shadow are going to attempt to clear this. But the Sharks seem to be in the right position at the right time to prevent any of these clears from coming around. Jamona finally with a nice booming clear, going to look for Reckless, but he's not going to find him. And now Jamona back on the defensive side. He's going to try to play it slow. Sharks aren't going to let him. Now it's going to be Knight looking for a touch from midfield. He's going to find it, but it's right to Reckless. He's going to look for a second one. He's not quite able to find the contact that he wanted. Now it's going to be Seeing back the other way. Jamona. Seeing for making a solo play. That's good defensive pressure here from the Shadow. Like you said, it's only 1-0 for the Sharks right now. This game is still in the Shadow's potential of coming back. Let's just see if they can actually get some offense going.
They really need to find a way to clear their zone faster, not allow the Sharks to spend so much time on the attack, and like you said, get some offense going, get some pressure, but that's huge bumps out of Kuwik Knight to absolutely demolish any chance of that becoming a goal-scoring opportunity. And you just see the Sharks really dominant all the way up and down the field. They do such a great job containing in the offensive end, and then when it comes down to the defensive end, not allowing any real threatening shooting opportunities.
Indeed. That's really the main thing here, as Reckless can't find the angle on that, and Seeing is going to take a goal here for himself, and it's going to be 2-0 lead here for the Sharks.
We mentioned this in game number 1. Seeing is so accurate all over the field, able to find the net. You can't allow them to get free shots, and if they are getting shots, you have to have a player back in net. And right there, the Shadow caught in just a bad position, not quite close enough to challenge Seeing, and no one back ready to defend that net, and it leads to Seeing scoring yet another goal. I believe that's their 5th of tonight's matchup.
That is indeed true, and Seeing looking for some more plays off this back wall. This ball's going to be left over towards Quick Knight. He's going to pinch that towards midfield. Jamona's going to easily turn on this. Look for boost. Just give the ball away for now. Seeing just going to waltz right in and take possession of that. Now Quick Knight looking to block the clear. Gets it near target. Well, not quite though, and Reckless going to look to clear it out from his own side. Now Seeing, looking for a shot, it's going to get saved off by Jamona. Now Reckless the other way. Here's a chance for the Shadow, but not quite the ball control you wanted, and Cook Knight's going to clear that away. It's a second touch towards the net, but Jamona is there. And the Shadow, they have been playing good defense. They have 5 saves, but it's not quite enough yet because they still just aren't able to get any goals.
Well, here's the thing about saves. It's always good to see a player that's a big defensive play from Jamona. It's good to see players able to make those defensive saves and those defensive plays, but if they're getting a lot of them, it really just says that they're not clearing the zone. They're not getting that pressure off of their net. And here we see the Shadow miss a shooting opportunity they absolutely could not. Remember, they needed a 4-1 to keep their playoff chances alive, and unfortunately here, if they drop this game, then they are guaranteed not to find the playoffs, and the Sharks will clinch a playoff spot if they can hold on to this 2-0 lead.
Indeed. There is 40 seconds left, so there is still some time. They got to get something going quickly, and Quick Knight with that nice booming clear is not going to do wonders for the Shadow here, and especially with that demo. Another demo coming out from Reckless, and 30 seconds left. Reckless is going to look to clear that out from his own zone, looking for a pass over to Jamona. Is going to challenge Seeing. Able to get it past the shot opportunity here. Can't put it on net. Reckless going to look for one itself. Not quite the angle he wanted to. That's going to get cleared out. 10 seconds left. Jamona is going to look for something quickly. He needs to score with time on the clock for there to be a chance, but that's not going to be on target. Off the sidewall this goes. Hits the ground. The Sharks going to take into.
Sharks take game number 2 in commanding fashion, and that it also clinches a playoff spot for the Sharks while dropping the Shadow. Guaranteed, not a chance to get into the playoffs. Like I said, we needed that 4-1 to get there, but let's take a second. We're going to throw over to the board real quick, and we're going to talk about how the Sharks were able to maintain that pressure and get opportunities to score goals like they were. A couple of things they're doing here is, first, they're making good midfield challenges, and what you want to do if this is the Sharks' end, you want to basically establish a wall of defense, and you want to work that wall up the field until eventually you have your opponent pegged back in their end, because they can't score if they can't get up the field. And how they're keeping their opponent pegged back in their end is what they're doing is they're making these quick turn rotations, getting aggressively back towards the net. Every time that ball doesn't go in, it bounces off or it gets saved by the player. There's always the other player rotating through to punish it right back down towards the net. The other thing we see is when the Shadow make these big looping rotations back to try to get into defensive positions, we've seen Seeing do it again and again. They're so capable of heading direct to the net no matter where they are on the field, and it ends up working out really well every single time for the Sharks. Sharks just doing a good job dominating all over the field.
Indeed. And that's, it's a really good thing to see, especially from the Academy League, is a nice sense of rotation from the Sharks. Like you said, they're able to really capitalize, prevent any of the clears coming out from the Shadow. And that is a big reason why the Shadow haven't scored at all this series. The Sharks are 7-0 in the series. And we'll see if the Shadow can get some goals on the board here as we start on Game 3. It's going to be Jamona from his own corner started out. Seeing, looking to challenge, can't get the angle on it. Quick Knight. Gonna look to try to stuff for some time, but it's gonna be bounced dangerously towards mid. Reckless looking to take his time with it. Finally going up. Soft touch, gonna get it around Seeing, not quite. Jamona looking to keep up the pressure, but Seeing's able to get above him. Quick Knight in the corner. Can't get it past Reckless. Is gonna take this towards midfield on the side. Look for a pass over to Jamona. He's gonna fall off of it. Try to come back on it, but too little too late as Quick Knight's going to clear that into the Shadow side. Looking for Seeing, but not quite on target. Now Jamona going the other way. Going to grab mid-boost. Going to look to go off the ceiling. Quick Knight, nice touch, but a dangerous one as well. But Seeing is able to bail him out, prevent Reckless from getting that shot. Now the other way we go. Quick Knight's going to bring this midfield Seeing. He's going to look for a shot. He's going to go 50 in the Sharks' favor. As Quick Knight has a shot opportunity. He's going to get saved off by Jamona. We've reached 1 minute elapsed, and this game is still scoreless.
Still scoreless, and you can see it's on the back of the Shadow team being much more aggressive, really getting up in the face of the Sharks like we asked them to do going into game number 2 and holding the Sharks away from those shooting opportunities, really just challenging early. They still are struggling to move that wall we talked about in the intermission up the field towards the Sharks' end of the net. I'd like to see the Shadow be a little bit more of that aggressive play style when they're on offense, not just on defense. You saw Jamona pull off of a pass opportunity that could have been a shot, but Seeing's not going to pull off of that one. Seeing scoring first yet again.
And that's just kind of wrong place at the wrong time. Jamona was there on the ball trying to take his time. Reckless just kind of came in and just kind of boomed that across of the back corner. It's pinched out towards midfield. That's kind of more of a defensive error there from the Shadow, allowing Seeing to capitalize, and Sharks have a lead in the series in the game 3 once again, as they have all series. As you see Quick Knight now try to bring this into the Shadow corner. Now Seeing his turn, but it's going to get nicely blocked off, but Seeing able to keep up the pressure. Good speed by him. Now off the sidewall, he's going to try to go, not make contact. Going to give it up towards Quick Knight, but Reckless with a nice booming clear towards net. Seeing has to make a save, but it's still dangerous. Looking for a shot, it's going to bounce just wide. Now Jamona, we're going to keep it in play. Going to send that towards the opposite corner. Quick Knight going to backflip into that. Now Jamona, dangerously mid, but Reckless can't get around to it in time. Seeing has all the time in the world for this shot. It's an open net. He's going to capitalize on it. It's Sharks 2-goal lead.
We're seeing 2 goals here coming off of Shadow errors. That first one, you never want to bang the ball through the corner. It's so rare to see the Shadow team lose control of the ball like that in their own end. They do a great job of keeping it close to their car. But then here, we asked the Shadow to be more aggressive upfield on the attack, and they were doing a good job of that. But part of that is knowing when to back off. You saw that ball start to dribble down. Reckless came up, unfortunately, and is going to get beat again here by Seeing. Before I can even finish my point, and this, again, is just Seeing accurate anywhere on the field.
And he just knows how to place the ball really, really well. That is the 3rd goal for him. The series is a hat trick for him. That is 8 goals total already in the series. 4 in game 1, 1 in game 2, and now 3 here in game 3. So he is putting the Shadow on his back with the goal count. Let's see if the Shadow can come back from this 3-goal deficit. Seeing as they haven't scored all series, it seems unlikely, but maybe they can pull up some offensive pressure here. Jamona is going to try to put that on net, but Seeing is there once again for the Sharks. Now Knight, they're going to get some pressure on. Can't quite get it on target as this gets cleared out towards their own end. Now Jamona looking for a demo, isn't going to quite find it. Reckless trying to keep the ball in play, but isn't able to make contact. Now Seeing going to look to try to flick it over Jamona, not quite what he wanted though, and it's going to remain in the Shadow zone. Now mid this ball goes. Reckless going to bring that into the corner. Second touch and travel mid. Jamona can't quite get around to it. Now it's going to be Seeing back the other way.
Do you want to take a second here and point out we've got a lot of great opportunities for big plays, especially with the way the Sharks are playing right now. If you like what you see and you want to give some credit to the players that are making these plays, make sure you clip it and submit it for Play of the Week, either on Twitter as Reckless. Again, every time I go to talk, someone's going to score here, but this time it's for the Shadows, saving themselves from getting shut out in the series. I'm Reckless, beating out off that pass from Seeing to center, beating Quick Knight to the ball, slamming that one home with authority.
And now with a goal from the Shadow, I'm excited to see if this can be an exciting game 3. They have a chance to come back. This ball is towards the net, and yeah, it's going to be exciting as Reckless going to get a goal again for the Shadow, this time off the kickoff. Well played off the sidewall, able to get it around and shoot it off the sidewall. It's going to dribble right on in.
Not just place that off the side wall, but also get that bump on Quick Knight to really secure that ball going home. It's so important not to give up on that shot. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to be able to get there. And I'm Reckless doing a great job getting back to it. Now we're within 1 with 1:15 to go. Can the Shadow ride this wave of momentum to victory here in game number 3?
And they're already putting more shots on board. So that's a double demo coming out from the Shadow. Jamona can take his time with it. Going to shoot it off the back wall, but Knight, we have pressure from the side. Got to bring that off towards the corner now. Is Reckless looking for a shot again. It's going to go just wide. Shadow, I feel like they still have much momentum. They can likely score again. They just got to get it around. They've had the pressure on the Sharks side for a while. It's finally going to go back towards the Shadow side. That's a dangerous touch. That is barely not on target there, but Seeing is able to capitalize. Unfortunate defensive mistake there from Reckless, and Sharks back out to a 2-goal lead.
41 seconds, 2 goals is possible to score, but unfortunately, if you're going to be making touches like that, it's going to make that uphill battle that much more difficult as I'm Reckless touches it, like you said, off the crossbar, back towards their own net, and just can't get back in time before Seeing beats them out to the ball to pick up, what is this, their 9th goal of the series?
I believe so, yeah. And it's going to be Knight the other way, looking to finish this off. Going to try to clear it out of his own corner, back into the Shadow side. Got a mid-boost, going to look to take it off the ceiling. Jamona can't make contact. Reckless going to clear that out over towards Jamona. Now Reckless again can't make contact. Seeing going to look for a goal again. He's going to dribble that home. And Seeing is just scoring everywhere this series. I have not... He's scoring everywhere.
Well, here's the big thing with Seeing as well. 5 goals on 5 shots. That's 100% shooting. It's incredible to see, especially at this Academy League level, to have a player that can that consistently put the ball on net from anywhere on the field. That's going to be really dangerous, no matter who you are. So other teams, be on notice. The Sharks have secured their place in the playoffs, and they're just driving that point home now. And I would definitely expect to see Seeing on that playoff roster, and you know they're dangerous. If you give them space, they're scoring goals. The Shadow, on the other hand, they need to find a way to shut this down. I would really love to see them pick up a game here, not get swept, especially now that it kind of doesn't matter. I hate to say that, but the Shadow are eliminated from playoffs, and the Shark have clinched it. So at this point, they're just kind of playing for glory, playing for stats. I'd love to see the Shadow pick up a game here, and the way they're going to have to do that is they're going to have to keep the speed up. Unfortunately, that's where we're starting to see some of these mechanical errors develop on the side of the Shadow, is they're just getting outspeed by the Sharks. Sharks are moving around the field so much faster, making so much more aggressive plays. It's throwing the Shadow off and forcing them to awkward spots, making mechanical mistouches. Shadow need to keep the speed up, but they need to find a way to find some space for themselves and get some plays where they're not as pressured by the Sharks.
Indeed. And if the Shadow, if they can combine this game with game 2, where they only held the Sharks to 2 goals, that's like the sweet spot there, because Shadow, near the end, well, not near the very end, but near like the middle towards the end part of that last game, they had really good pressure. They had really good pressure at 2-3, and they were seemingly about to score some more. An accidental defensive mistake just kind of lost the pressure, but I felt like that defensive mistake doesn't come around, then the game's probably not 5-2. Instead, maybe going into a 3-3 overtime, and something could be different. But here we are, and let's see if the Shadow can actually get a game here as we head into the next game of the series.
Well, the big thing here, you mentioned, if that mechanical error didn't happen, then maybe we see a different outcome. It just speaks to how much momentum is important in this game, where you have to establish and then maintain that momentum, and that mechanical error on defense absolutely destroyed it for the Shadow. Something to note, though, they were even for shots. Both teams put up 7 shots in that game. If they can continue to even up this pressure, just tighten up that defense a little bit, then this is very winnable for the Shadow.
And they are starting with some pressure. They already have a shot on target. You're going to be on the defensive here, but let's see if Jamona can make a touch here from midfield. No, he can't, but the ball's still just hopping around. Seeing's able to get it past one, bounces off the side post, and Knight's going to block the clear coming out from the goal, and that's going to be a lead here for the Sharks.
It's unfortunate for the Shadow. They had to make a challenge there. You couldn't let Seeing take that shot unopposed, but just where they were positioned on the field. And unfortunately, Seeing beats to the ball, and as always is accurate towards the net. A little off, so it goes off the post, but Kuwait Knight more than happy to finish that one off. And again, we see the Sharks in the lead going through game number 4 here. Ooh.
But in game 3, we saw the Sharks have some offensive pressure when they were down, when they're down 0-3. So just because they have a lead doesn't mean that they don't know how to come back, as they did show it somewhat in game 3, but they still need to get something on the board, as they were applying a little bit of pressure there for the a few seconds. Quick Knight looking for a demo, but Reckless is going to just point that towards his own corner, leave it for Jamona. But it's going to be cleared out by, or blocked out by Seeing. Now Reckless, his turn to get a clear. Isn't going to get it, but Knight isn't able to get the touch as well, and now it's going to be Jamona first to the ball, able to get a good 50 onto Seeing. Seeing's going to play it back into his own corner. Now Reckless going to shoot that mid, looking for a second touch. Knight, good speed on that arrow, able to prevent that block from coming in. Now seeing the other way, he's going to try to finish that towards the net, but it's just off. And now it's going to be Knight, his turn for the pressure onto the Shadow's side. He's going to hit it off the back wall, but seeing it already retreated. Now Reckless back the other way. He's going to send that towards the net. Reckless looking for a block on the clear, but isn't going to get it. And seeing he's going to get a nice clear. Now Knight back the other way. Isn't going to find the touch. Neither is Seeing. It's a potential open opportunity. Is that going to be on target? No. Second chance? No, and Knight's going to clear that away.
Unfortunate for the Shadow. Again, we need to see them get a little bit more consistent in those mechanical things. When people hear mechanics, they think, you know, double flip reset to triple touch. That's not really what we're talking about. It's that consistent control of your car and the ball on the ground and in the air, be able to consistently put that shot on net, be able to get those touches where you need them. And unfortunately, Reckless, seeing they had the open net opportunity, panics a little bit and sends that one wide. If you see that you have a chance to slow down, slow down. Take all the time you need, as long as you have it, to try to get those shots on net, because you need every little advantage you can get at this point.
Indeed. And the Shadow, they still have a shot count lead, even though they are down in this series. So they've been doing a good job of keeping up the pressure from Game 3. They just need to start capitalizing like they should have done on that open net. But there is still plenty of time. And with that shot count, I believe they could be able to do it. But they got to get the ball out of their own zone. Jamona is going to prevent that. But now Jamona again from his own side, going to hit that off mid towards Reckless. Going to send that out towards the corner. Now Jamona again. They're going to send that on target. Seeing can't make the touch. And we've got a tie ball game here in Game 4. 1:30 left.
90 seconds to go, and we're tied for the first time in a long time between the Shadow and the Sharks. Hopefully this is the turning point for the Shadow in this series, and they can eke out a 3-2 loss here. But we'll have to see them be consistent, which they haven't been all series. But that's a quick shot on net. I like to see that they're getting a little confident, they're getting aggressive, and they're trying to punish this Sharks team.
Indeed, and Kubik Knight, they're attempting for a response, isn't able to get it. Jamona's going to clear that off towards the side. Can look for a second touch, is able to get it past Kubik Knight, over towards Reckless. Going to make a slight touch, and Jamona actually looking for the bump onto Sing. Is able to get it, but no one else from the Shadow looking to capitalize on that. There's a demo from Reckless onto Knight, another one onto Sing. Temporarily 2-0, but Knight is not going to get the clear. That ball's going to go in. The Shadow are going to have their first lead of the series.
Can they hold it on for 53 seconds? That's a huge play for I'm Reckless. Double demo there to clear out the entire defense. Open them the net, and it's a little slow on the side of Jamona to collect that and put it towards, but Kubik Knight, I believe it was, going to drive across and finish it off for them anyways, and a little bit of a panic trying to get that ball clear, and now we see the Sharks in a position we haven't seen them in yet this series, which is losing to the Shadow with the clock ticking down.
Indeed, the Shadow, they got to hold on to this lead. They know how to play defensive from like the past few games or so with that just the amount of saves, but got 30 seconds left. Sharks definitely know how to attack, but it's going to be the Shadow looking for another opportunity. He's going to get barely saved off by Seeing. Reckless now. It's going to saved off by Kubik Knight, but the pressure from the Shadow just seems like it's overwhelming as we hit 15 seconds. Jamona gonna play off of that. Kubik Knight looking to get a touch, isn't gonna find it. Seeing has no boost, has to just backflip to get that out of the way. Approaching, there's a demo from Kubik Knight, and that's gonna bounce crossbar down and hit the ground. Shadow's gonna take Game 4. They're not gonna get swept this time.
And you would not expect it from how game number 1 and game number 2 went, but the Shadow eke out a win here in game number 4, as fellow caster Leachy loves to say. Game 4 is where you see what teams are made of. And man, the Shadow standing resolute, not letting those first 3 games get them down. They picked up 9 shots on this game, leading to 2 goals, coming off of some great physical play. Let's talk to the board one more time here this series. I won't bring it back again after this, I promise. Now let's talk about how the Shadow have kind of adopted that Sharks aggressive circling play style here, but they added a little bit of element to it, where as they come back around through these quick rotations, when they come back through the net, they're looking to attack players sitting in front of the net and bump them out of the way to clear that net, looking for opportunities. The other thing they're doing is they're coming down the field, and as the one player sends it up sorry, excuse me, let me step back here. You have one player with the ball. They'll send it up to this player up here looking for that, and then continue up ahead of the play, again, looking for bumps and demos to clear out that net. If they can continue that play style, as we take the board away here again, if they can continue that play style, it's going to be very effective. The Sharks have relied so far on kind of getting opportunities from the Shadow. As the Shadow pick up the speed, pick up the pace, pick up the aggression, it's forcing the Sharks to find and make their own opportunities. And the Shadow have really come to that first with these demo and bump plays.
Indeed. It's almost like they kind of skipped a step. So they went from passive, they skipped aggression and went right towards the demolition part of aggression. So they almost seemingly entirely skipped the aggression part, and it seems to have really worked out in their favor, seeing as they did get that 2-1 victory here in Game 4. Let's see if they can pull out another one here in Game 5. It's going to be Quick 9 off the sidewall. Send that towards the mid, but it's right towards Jamoda as he was waiting for that. Into the corner we go. It's a good touch there by Seeing. But Reckless looking to keep control as well, as these clears are somewhat slow, but Knight able to get a nice second touch off the side, get that out of their own zone. Now Jamona running out of boost, can only hit that slightly towards mid. Knight's going to have a slow shot towards mid. Reckless, the very slow clear, and Knight is, Seeing is going to who said that? Knight is going to capitalize on that goal as it bounces. Oh, I see. It hit the back of Knight's car as Seeing gets a nice challenge on that clear, and it's 1-0 for the Sharks.
I hate to say luck, but that's absolutely a little bit of luck there. That double touch from Seeing does a great job of keeping that pressure forward and not allowing that clear, so credit where credit's due. But Kuik Knight just happens to be coming out of the net at the right time, and that little bit of buddy bump for a little bit of extra boost, looking for a follow-up play, but Seeing can't find the net. A rare miss, and we see the Sharks feeling this pressure as the Shadow bear down on them. They're not quite as consistent as they were. You can tell they're a little worried about the Shadow picking up another game here.
And you saw earlier when Seeing wasn't able to get that touch on net, Knight was taking a play from the Shadow's book, looking for a demo onto the goalkeeper. Did get it. Seeing just wasn't able to put it on net. Like I said, a rarity. But Sharks, even when they have already secured the series, are reacting to the Shadow's plays, even though they have won the series, and that is something that is really nice to see from the Sharks. That's going to be another goal there. The Sharks is going to be Knight in his second, bringing the Sharks out to a 2-goal lead.
The big issue here for the Shadow is when the Sharks are scrambling, it brings them down to about where the Shadow have been playing most of this series. When the Shadow are scrambling, it's the Sharks game all day long. We see that here. Shadow not getting a single shot on net so far, and there, as the Sharks continue to pepper away and get pressure down towards the Shadow net, the Shadow scramble a little bit, they get themselves out of sorts and allow the Sharks to continue to take follow-up shots until eventually that ball finds home.
Be Reckless now looking to send that towards Jamona. That's a good passing play, but even better save there by Seeing, putting that from going in the net. Now Knight, good challenge, going to keep that into the Shadow zone. Reckless, so just kind of touch it off to the side, but good speed by Knight is going to travel dangerously towards the net. Now Seeing with an opportunity. Reckless, nice save. Knight can't capitalize it. It's Jamona, the good clear. As an open net, he's going to be able to capitalize, and the Shadow bring this back within 1.
Jamona doing exactly what Reckless didn't in that open net opportunity in the last game. Slow down, take your time, recognize how much time you have behind you, how much space, and make sure you put that ball on net. Jamona, great awareness, turning upfield, knowing where the defenders were, and getting that ball accurately down onto the net.
And Shadow capitalizing when they can. Haven't gotten many shots on target this game, only 2 compared to the Sharks' 7, but 50% is better than now, 2 for 8, 1/4. So Shadow been able to capitalize a little bit more frequently than the Sharks, but just don't have the pressure. Let's see if they can get some pressure on it, because if they can easily tie up this ball game, as we see Shadow now bring this into the Sharks' corner. Seeing off the side, he's going to look to take his time. Reckless is right there. He's going to leave it for Jamona, send that towards the mid, and look for a second touch. Isn't going to find it. He's going to dribble back in towards the corner. Now Seeing. Good pressure by Jamona. It's going to go towards net. Just going to be slightly off target. Now Knight looking for the clear. So I'm going to be able to get it the first time. He's able to get it the second time. Gets it around the Shadow. Seeing a nice demo as a shot opportunity. Good block there from Reckless. It's going to be Knight now from the back corner. Clear that off towards the side. Looking for a second touch. Isn't going to quite get it. Going to leave it over towards Seeing. Towards the net it goes. Jamona not the best of touches. Redland's going to get demoed. Jamona trying to find the ball in the smoke. So shot opportunity for Knight is going to go just wide. Now Seeing a hit off shot opportunity for him. And he's going to be able to capitalize. Sharks going to bring this back out to a 2-goal lead with a nice play from Seeing.
Unfortunately, Jamona there getting burned. First missing that ball in the clear and then getting bumped by the the Shark player, and then by their teammate as everybody's on ball cam. Not 100% sure where everybody is. And Seeing, as always, accurate, able to finish that one off. I do want to point out here real quick, as the clock ticks down through the last minute and 15 seconds, we are giving away a Power A enhanced wired controller. So make sure, if you're a member of the Discord, to go ahead and type !raffle with however many raffle tickets you want to get entered for this Power A controller.
But now, there we go. It's a nice shot from Reckless. He's going to bring the Shadow back within 1 as we hit under a minute left. Unfortunate touch there by Knight. Reckless in the right place, able to get that on target before Seeing gets back.
Shadow not out of this game yet. Taking this one back down to a 1-goal lead. They need to find some magic here quickly. I'm thinking in the next 30 seconds or so to try to force this one at least to overtime. But we've seen the Shadow win. We've seen them take the advantage away from the Shark. Just never from behind. It's always been the Shadow getting up into the lead and then holding on to it. It's going to be interesting. Can they meet this pressure as Kuik, Knight, and Seeing have the whole net to themselves? A nice little pass play. Seeing picks up, I don't even know how many goals this series.
That was a good little bump up there from Kuik Knight. Just gets it over Jamona. He was last man back. Just wasn't patient enough to shadow along with the ball. And the Sharks out to a 2-goal lead. And I think Seeing has probably over 10 goals this series, so he is really popping off. And Reckless had a shot opportunity there, goes just high, and we've hit 30 seconds left. Shouting to get something quickly. Jamona has an opportunity. He's not going to quite find it, and Reckless is going to shoot that into the Sharks' corner. Shot opportunity here. Jamona has a chance. He's going to put it in. Shadow not out of it yet. 15 seconds left. Bring it within 1.
Typically not a big fan of this corner ball play style rolling it through, but didn't have a whole lot of choice with how that one came in. And Jamona more than up to the task as that ball just barely comes within shooting position in front of that corner. Jamona puts it home to bring this back within 1. Can the Shadow find another quick kickoff goal here, or do the Sharks take the series 4-1?
It's going to start off. They bring it towards midfield. It's going to go into the Shadow and the Sharks' corners. Opportunities here. Reckless going to try to send that towards net. Good save there by Seeing. Ball can't no longer touch the ground. Kuik and I'm going to keep it up. Seeing look to try to get it past him. No touch. But he's going to hit the ground. Sharks going to take the series 4-1.
That is a well-fought series out of the Shadow, but unfortunately, it's not enough. As like you said, the Sharks take the series 4-1. That's a great showing out of the Sharks. And it just really speaks to how fast they were able to play. All over the field, they were dominant. Seeing so incredibly accurate with shots on net. And it's just so difficult to go up against a team when you have a player like Seeing that can always put the ball towards the net. Didn't score as many goals this time, despite having 6 shots, because of 6 saves out of I'm Reckless. But unfortunately, too little, too late. Sharks walk away with the W. As we move forward here, if you want to join our community here, it's a great competitive league. We have a league for every skill level, all the way down from bronze up through the high, Grand Champ, Supersonic Legend, whatever you may be. We've got a league for you here in our community. Go on ahead over to mlesports.gg/apply, fill out our application, get on one of these teams. Our admission staff is great. Also on the MLE Sports website, we have merch, stats, power rankings, articles, everything you'd expect out of the competitive league. On top of that, if you need music for whatever your project is, be it live streaming on Twitch or other platforms possibly, or you're making videos for YouTube, or you're doing professional productions all the way up to professional sports and things like that, APM Music is the group to turn to. They have all the music for any possible need you could possibly need. So APM Music, check them out if you need music. We have, like we said, a doubleheader between the Shadow and the Sharks. We're moving on to the Champion League. When we come back from this intermission, we will be right back. Stick around.